This is All Things A's with Garrett, and I'm Garrett. I'm starting a new series of episodes on the original The Karate Kid movie. Cut scenes, sequels, the legendary actors, the iconic 80s music. Anytime I hear Cruel Summer, I think Karate Kid. Of course, the song You're the Best. Musical instrumental themes, you got to think Bill Conti. Filming locations, and of course, the sensational streaming TV show Cobra Kai. These episodes will not appear back to back as I'll have other 80s content coming out on the channel. Hopefully, I will have at least one Karate Kid themed episode per month leading up to the premiere of Cobra Kai Season 4. Fingers crossed for December. I will add additional episodes to the Karate Kid playlist on my channel once I release the second episode. But this is one of my favorite film franchises of the 80s. It's hard for me to rank movies, but this is up there in my top 5. So I'm super excited about diving deeper into this movie and finding new trivia to give you. The Karate Kid was released on June 22nd, 1984. It's just about halfway through the 80s, and to me, this movie just about represents everything good in the 80s and doesn't gloss over all the bad. I was too much shy of being 12 when it came out. Even though I was not in high school, I could identify with what Daniel was going through. I had changed schools. I had been bullied, like a lot of people who have been experienced the same things. But at that point in life, I had not met an Ali or a Mr. Miyagi. So I remember watching this movie the following summer at my cousin's house in Atlanta, and she still talks about my passion for this movie when we were kids. Likes to give me a hard time about it, but I think but because of that, I think it resonates with people, especially probably adolescent boys who grew up in that time period. But it is a true underdog story, which should be no surprise that the director of Rocky was also the director of Karate Kid. Most people have been bullied in some form or fashion. Even most bullies were once bullied. So we all have that crush, that first love that will always be special no matter how much time has passed. And hopefully that mentor, if it be a teacher or a coach or a neighbor or a karate sensei, that helps shape who you are and challenges you to find your purpose, and that helps you become the best version of yourself, even when you can't see that version of yourself just yet. Somebody who actually believes in you besides your mom. So the Karate Kid is truly a classic, and it holds up today. It's iconic because that's what it is. It's a classic for sure, because the themes that made it so great still apply. And the guys who have continued the story in Cobra Kai truly understand this. And it is why I believe that Cobra Kai has done so well. They truly get the essence of the Karate Kid, and it shows with the reverence they showed the original cast and the backstory while creating a whole new group of new teen characters while continuing the story of Daniel and Johnny. They also understand the fun factor, and Cobra Kai is fun. So this project is going to be a joint collaboration with my good friends, Chris and Nick. You've heard me talk about these guys before. Chris from the Midnight Movie Snap podcast, and Nick from Fast Rewind, which is the website on 80s movies. For the record, Fast Rewind found and published the majority of Karate Kid filming locations that are out there. These guys were doing it back in the mid to late 90s and had found a lot of the stuff that people were looking for. A lot of stuff that you see today was found by the Fast Rewind people. So it's pretty cool that they're the ones. And I became good friends with Nick, and he's going to help collaborate on some of this stuff. So this is going to be great. But there are a lot of people who have who helped, and I'm going to try to give credit where credit's due. So check the video description below for links to their sites. I'll try to give you more detail on all my videos in the description. I'm also going to try to get some of my other friends to be guests on future episodes as well. So stay tuned for that. So let's begin with looking at the original movie. I was 5 years younger than the character of Daniel when it came out. And now I'm about 4 years younger than Pat Morita when he first played Mr. Miyagi. So there's no doubt that I view things differently than I did at 12. But if you live long enough, the student becomes the master, or should I say the sensei. The question becomes, what kind of sensei will you be? What is your life philosophy? And that's part of the brilliance, I think, of Cobra Kai. We see the different philosophies of the different dojos played out, and how it affects the lives and the people around them. That's what makes it a great story. And we see how there's different approaches can work for different people. So even if you're team Daniel, or your team Johnny, or team Cobra Kai, or you're the Miyagi-Do, it's okay. It's all right. There's different ways that we can go about doing life. But one of the craziest things that I've seen over the past 10 years probably has been this theory that Daniel was the bully. it's so absurd to me that it's not even worth to address or to spend too much time addressing. But there's no doubt that Johnny and his inner gang of Cobra Kai were the bullies of the original movie. However, when they were bullies, but they're not the villains, and that's the difference. I think that's the big, like the defining line there. It's like going, yes, they were bullied. Yes, they bullied Daniel, and they were definitely bullies in the movie, but they're not the villain. And the villain in the movie, that goes to John Kreese, and that was played by the great Martin Kove, and still played by the great Martin Kove. He's awesome. But Johnny was a jerk. He was a bully. There's no doubt about it. But before you think, oh, Garrett's all about Team Daniel, and I'm not Team Johnny or something. I love William Zabka. He is awesome. And the guys at Cobra Kai, they've done this wonderful thing where they've given Johnny's storyline that he's now the underdog, and they're taking it from that point of view, and they're going forward, and it works. It's fantastic. So if you've not watched Cobra Kai, which if you're watching this, you probably have, but if you haven't watched it yet, give it a shot, listen to it. But let's continue to settle this whole who's the villain, who's the bully type of deal. We got to go to the source. And when you go to the source, you got to go to the author of the script, the author of the story, and even the director. And let's find out what they had to say about who the hero, who the villains, who the bullies, all that stuff in it. John Avildsen, he's the director, and he did a really cool thing. He not only rehearsed the film before shooting, but he also videoed these rehearsals, and he released a lot of that footage to his personal YouTube channel. I'm going to be showing some of that footage along with some of the excerpts of the script that were originally in the script or scenes that were cut during editing. A lot of this information comes from a guy named The Vanishing Son, and was a script correspondent for Fast Rewind. And there's a whole section on this that they have on there. It's on the website, and I will give you links to that. You can look for yourself. But I'm just trying to put this stuff together in a YouTube video format for you guys so you guys can see it. And I think their work deserves it. I think it's great. I will give you some of my insight and stuff and things that I find and whatever. But this is, but a lot of this stuff comes from, they obtained copies of the script, and they were able, in early scripts, transcripts of the script, and they found things that were cut, and I'm going to try to show you those things and give it to you here in these videos. But let's first look at the test screening with Ralph Macchio and listen to him hear from John Avildsen about Daniel and what the character is like in their, what the character of Daniel is like in the story.
A lot of humiliation and trouble. Meets the rich girl from the other side of the tracks, and he's pursuing her and also trying to keep from getting killed by these guys.
Yeah, these guys.
And he's there with his divorced mother, and who is a nice lady but works and is kept busy, and is befriended by this old Okinawan man, Miyagi. And he becomes the kid's surrogate father, and Daniel goes on and beats the bully at the tournament, and he and the old man and the girl go off into the sunset.
Walk away in the sunset. Yes, little Rocky story.
Let's let's get off of this fake conspiracy theory that Daniel was the bully. Daniel was defending himself. Johnny went to knock his block off. He jumped up in the air. The world was made right.
So you've seen those conspiracy theories out there?
Yeah, people. I'm not on social media, but a bunch of people called me and asked me for comment, and it's like, let's give it a rest.
So we hear from John Avildsen saying that he calls Johnny the bully to Daniel on the screenshot, and then we hear from the creator of Cobra Kai that wrote the screenplays and for the story. It's his characters of for Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3, Robert Mark Kamen. He calls it a fake conspiracy theory about calling Daniel the bully, and he says we need to give it a rest. But before we're done with giving it a rest, there is a really cool scene here that was, its first was talked about on the Karate Kid website, And this website, I told you, is and that's ran by the same guys who run FastRewind.com, and that's Nick from Fast Rewind. I told you to do a joint collaboration here. So the Vanishing Son and the Karate Kid website, the Vanished Son, and on the Karate Kid website, they're the first ones to talk about this cut scene, and it's the legendary cafeteria scene, and I will show you here. But in saying this, it goes that he goes, it's the first section, missing scene section. We're proud to exclusively bring you the first ever internet unveiling of the now legendary cafeteria scene that was definitely filmed, but ultimately excised from the final cut of the movie. And we do have a picture of what that scene looked like, because it was filmed. But since this has been put out back in the late 90s, John Avildsen put out on his YouTube video, on his YouTube channel, at least rehearsals. We don't see the actual filming of this, but we do see the rehearsals filming of this. So we actually get to see this. So I want to show you the scene. And this is the original scene from the movie. It does not show the cut scene, but this kind of sets it up before you see the rehearsal scene.
Hi.
Hey, Allie with an eye. How you doing?
Good.
Not too hungry today?
No, not really.
Here, have some pie. I made it myself.
Yeah?
Oh, it's just this little voice. You know, it's telling me I gotta be some kind of a yo-yo to be talking to you right now.
That'll be $250.
Oh, wait, for both.
$375.
$375.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter anyway.
Well, why is that?
Because it's over.
It's over. Wait, how over?
Weeks.
Weeks. 1 week, 5 weeks. How many weeks is weeks?
In the cafeteria, glop goes on his plate. And Allie, you see him? And you come up.
Hey, if it isn't Allie with an eye, huh? How you doing?
Okay. So, how do you like the valley so far?
Oh, well, it hasn't been dull, I can say that much.
Yeah, was Newark?
How'd you know I was from Newark?
Yes. I got spies.
You still with anybody?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, now you turn towards the cashier.
Okay, we got this. My little voice telling me I have to be some kind of a coconut to pursue this.
Yeah, well, it's over.
That's $2.
Hey, Ellie. How old?
Weeks.
It's 1 week, 5 weeks. This is weeks.
Here you take his pie, and you get up.
It says in the finally filmed but cut version, Daniel takes the whole pie over to Johnny. He can clearly be seen holding it in the publicity shot above, and that's what I just showed you. And I think that was added in the rehearsal. You've just seen that there's no mention of the blueberry pie when they do through the rehearsal scenes, but they show you the scene played out that was filmed. But Daniel in the cut in the original Karate Kid movie, we see that Daniel asks her if asks Allie if she wants pie. She says yes, and he said he made it himself. Made a little joke about he made it himself, and he puts a piece of blueberry pie on his own tray. And so I think what happens is in the scene that we do not get to see, the actual filmed version that was cut, was that obviously Johnny puts the pie on his chair and he sits in it, but then Daniel takes the pie from his own plate, his own tray, and goes over and smears it onto Johnny, and that's when. But that's the part that's cut.
This cut cafeteria scene is also referenced in the Karate Kid novelization that came out in 1984 by B.B. Hiller. It's in chapter 6, pages 28 through 30. If you're able to obtain it, it pretty much gives the same thing that we see in the rehearsal footage. It's also shown in Cobra Kai graphic novel. It's called The Karate Kid Saga Continues. It's Johnny's story, and that scene is shown there as well. It's also referenced in Cobra Kai Season 2, Episode 9. The title episode is called Popo, and Daniel and Johnny both reference what happened in that cut scene. And so I will show you that scene now.
That's because you put it on my chair first. See, he's leaving out the details. Oh, yeah.
Should we get another round?
I don't know. Last time I went 4 rounds with LaRusso, I caught a foot to my face.
But I also want to show you some other scenes. This is from the original scripts, part 2, and you'll see it here. It says the second draft of the script dated March 28th, 1983. This was updated on October 15th, 1999. So it shows you that it's been over 20 years since these guys put this up. But this is some great information, and I think it. Some of this is out, but not all of it's out. And in here, number 1, there's a lot more beatings for Daniel. The producers have annotated the scripts to show the fact that they were obviously unhappy at the level of violence. So there was a lot more violence in the script toward Daniel. In number 6, it says Daniel is terrorized generally more often by Cobra Kai, both physically and verbally. At one point, they put a large amount of dog crap in his locker or laugh at his incredibly shrinking weenie after forcing him to endure a cold shower in the shower room, etc. So there's a lot more stuff that was not put in, or that was cut or not expounded on in the movie, and probably even cut before it even got to even obviously into the practice, into the rehearsal scenes and what we see in the final script.
I want to thank you for watching this first episode of The Karate Kid, and the guys behind The Karate Kid like to call this the Miyagi Verse. I'll be going deeper into some things, hitting some trivia, and of course covering the classic 80s moments and themes. There will be more to come. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more Miyagi Verse content. I will see you on the next episode of All Things 80s with Garrett.